A lot of people treat science like a belief, and when it's scientifically proven it's right and it works, when it's scientifically proven that's ineffective, it doesn't work. And when there's no science, a lot of people don't believe it can be possible or whatever. Transformation is actually, like I said, a gateway to explore a new way of living, explore the new part of you, of the new way of who you are actually, or for me especially, it's remember a lot. It's pure wisdom, but we don't speak the language anymore.
No.
So connecting mind and body is actually always the intention of everything that I do with workshops, with one-on-one sessions. We have never known scientifically as much about food as we know today, and still there's so many people not knowing what they have to eat to be healthy.
In the following episodes, I speak with Thomas Vinke. Thomas is a dedicated advocate for holistic well-being, blending his expertise in health science, PNI, and fascial manipulation to empower individuals on their journey to optimal health. With a rich background in health and rehabilitation science, including a master's degree from the University of Antwerp, Thomas has honed his understanding of human functioning. His commitment to personal growth and transformation is evident in his exploration of diverse modalities, such as breathwork, meditation, plant medicine, and biohacking. Through his podcast, Unfolding Potential, he offers profound insights and practical tools for self-discovery and empowerment. Thomas' mission extends beyond individual transformation. He aims to catalyze social change by promoting self-responsibility and self-empowerment. By guiding others to recognize their inner potential and embrace their authentic self, he believes true transformation is possible. Enjoy the conversation. Maybe just one thing. If you enjoyed the episode, please give it a like at the end or a comment and follow our channel. This way we can reach more audience, impact more people, invite more interesting guests in the podcast that talk about more interesting topics. Thank you very much and enjoy the episode. Welcome in the Awake Insights, Thomas.
Thank you.
I'm really happy to have you here. We know each other not that long yet, but it's not a secret that you live in the country that I left a few years ago, which is Belgium. And I'm very curious, actually. So what does transformation really mean to you and to the people that you support today?
Mm-hmm. Transformation is actually, it's a gateway, because for me personally, and that's how I look at it now, it's when change is happening, or actually when it's done, when you're ready to experience the same things in a new way. When a butterfly spreads its wings and flies out for the first time, it's not afraid that it maybe could not fly, or that it maybe would not be not beautiful enough. And so for me, transformation is actually letting go of the things that we learned to survive, that we learned to get along, to be part of society, to be part of the family, to be part of anything else, to be included. And for me, personal transformation is actually, like I said, a gateway to explore a new way of living, explore the new part of you, of the new way of who you are actually. Or for me especially, it's remembering who you are, or who you were meant to be.
Yeah. And I can imagine that you recommend everybody to do that. And also, I can imagine that you went also through your own transformation yourself. And that's probably the reason why you're doing this kind of work. Can you explain a little bit more about that? How have you experienced this transformation? And what led to that for you?
It's not an ending process. It's a never-ending process actually. It's new ways of transformation. I'm now in this moment actually. I'm going through a process again. So for me, and it's not about leveling up, becoming better, or becoming a better person, or being more worthy. It's actually, like I said, remembering yourself. So it's not about better or worse. But transformation is letting go of what doesn't serve you anymore. And the transformation itself is is the moment that you realize what was holding you back or how you were holding yourself back, and especially connecting with that power in that body, with that feeling that comes into place of what was holding you back, of the limiting beliefs you had, or the limiting mindset you had, or the limiting stories you were telling yourself. And for me, my journey, I'm 32 years old now, so it started 32 years ago. But in transformation or facilitating people in transformation, it started 3 years ago. I started with studying the KPNI, the Psychoneuroimmunology. It's a quite new science. Dr. Gabor Mate is one of the people that is also bringing more to the society and to the people. And actually, it's a science that is connecting all the different sciences together to give us an understanding how humans function, how emotions influence the immune system, how thoughts can influence the immune system in every way that we have been exploring with science in the past 100 years. But the KPNI is actually bringing it all together, making sure that we can understand why somebody that is holding, like for example, holding back anger in his body or not being able to let it go, what physical problems and even what diseases can cause from anger not being shown or not being put out into the world, but like holding it back. So I started with the study, and of course, when you start to study new things, you also start to change yourself because you get new insights, you have new experiences. And together with that, I started exploring the shamanic world too. So on the one side, I had science and everything from before my rehabilitation background, then with the KPNI. And then on the other side, I had the finding out what shamanism actually is, or having my own experience with shamanism, having private sessions, having ceremonial sessions. And that way, I started actually, like I said, started remembering myself.
Yeah. Was that actually an intention of you to go in these different modalities? Is that a kind of a plan that you set for yourself? Like, now I'm practicing this, and then I'm going in more into shamanism, which goes a level deeper. Is that really something that is planned, or is that
No,
no?
no plans. I really, and that's something that I do every day very consciously. I go with the flow as much as possible. Um, Life actually is made out of flow. Nature grows, lives in the flow. Everything, and we are humans because we're part of nature, is at its best in flow. And the less we remember who we are and how we function, the more we go into resistance and the more we try to do things to get certain results. But actually, the universe or life has so much more for us waiting if we dare to let go and trust the process. And so I'm a person, I never functioned really well on putting out clear goals into the future. Then I want to reach that I want to do that. And I really trust the process. And it's been actually since I was young that I I I accept whatever comes onto my path, and like the KPNI and also the shamanism, it came to me. I'm I was looking for ways to increase my consciousness, to become to restore my being, because I had health problems too, of course, and emotional issues. But so I was just looking for a way to heal myself, or maybe at that time looking for somebody that could heal me or could help me.
Yeah. So these health issues and emotional problems that you mentioned, actually, I guess they were the driver for that healing process that you started. Can
Yeah,
you tell a little bit more about that so
yeah.
that other people can resonate and
On,
also maybe in that situation? Hey, just a quick note from our sponsor, True Impact Agency. If you want to set up marketing funnels, create landing pages, or start advertising campaigns, they have years of experience offering these kind of marketing services. You can just get in touch with them through the website, through impactagency.com, and there's also a free ebook for you to download, where you can learn how to turn quality leads into paying customers. Thank you very much, and let's continue the episode.
yeah. When I was 21 years old, I was at university studying physio. and I had a lot of intestinal problems. I had a diarrhea for 5, 6 times a day. I had a lot of pain in my belly, a lot of intolerances and allergies. And there was, I consulted a lot of different doctors and a specialist. He actually, at that time, he said to me, like, okay, young boy, it was like really a little bit denigrating me, or
Yeah,
a
yeah.
little bit like, okay, young boy, I know you're just sick. And he said, okay, we can see on the MRI that you're probably going to develop the disease of Crohn, but it's not. He said it's not 100% clear, but maybe 90 or 95%. Maybe in a year or 2 years
Hmm.
we can give you the diagnosis.
Yeah.
And the first thing was like, okay, doctor, what can I do? How can I change things in my life? At that time, it was like, okay, what can I change to my food, to my diet, to my lifestyle? How can I change my life that I can have less problems, that I can heal myself from the disease maybe that is coming? And he just laughed at me. He said, haha, but boy, you're just this is an autoimmune disease. You cannot do anything about it. This is how
Yeah.
actually the coming 40, 50 years of your life will look. We can have medication, we have surgery, and blah, blah, blah. It was actually like telling me how my life was going to look, but
Wow.
being sick.
Yeah.
And that the only thing after leaving that consultation in tears and riding my bicycle, I remember as it was yesterday. The only question I had, or the only question that was still in my system was like, how can I help myself is if nobody is helping me? So yes, it was a huge driver actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds very intense actually if you get this
Hmm.
kind of diagnose. And I can, yeah, totally relate to that traditional health system and how everything works, and the knowledge actually with traditional doctors about, yeah, the things that you teach and the things that we start to discover more and more is only yeah, there are not so many people that are aware of all these kind of things. And yeah, you seem to be a living proof of that. Yeah, there is really another way of looking at things and
Hmm.
exploring yourself, and let nature do the work, and yeah, and heal from that situation. um, can you give some other examples of limitations that people can face in their life actually, that
Hmm.
for them could be like this turning point of, okay, I have to do things in a different way. I have to, yeah, live more consciously. I have to dive into myself and explore what really is going on.
Hmm. To start off, there's nothing we have to do. It's also that is a limitation because and it's my own experience too. We learn from society on, from going to school, going into sports, going whatever as a child. What we do, especially our parents, they teach us how to do things. But actually we don't have to do anything.
Hmm.
We can explore ourselves, we can explore life, we can explore different countries, we can explore science and languages, and we can if we want to, but nothing has to be done. Nobody has to change or has to do anything. So that's the first thing for me, because we're so busy doing so many things, and
Yeah.
it's not that long ago that I was myself very busy. Like you said in the introduction, I have my past in with rehabilitation science and biohacking. So there was a period, and I think maybe it's 1 or 2 years ago in the COVID time, I had maybe a to-do list of 1 hour and a half or 2 hours of self-optimization, doing
Hmm.
breath work, taking my ice baths, doing meditations, doing yoga or qigong, doing my affirmations and journaling. And so I was so busy doing so many things, and don't understand me wrong, it helped me, but
Hmm.
doing things is not what transforms you, or what has the potential to transform you.
Yeah.
It's you learning the lessons from whatever you experience, from whatever you do or whatever happens, and incorporating those lessons, like really embodying those lessons. And that's how transformation is possible.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I think also finding what's right for you, finding what really feels good for you actually, and that's not for everybody
Mhm.
the same, because we
For
tend
everybody,
to,
very different. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, definitely, yeah, because we tend to also make a plan for ourselves, right, and create a routine. And what you mentioned, you give some examples like meditation, ice bath, some yoga, some
Mhm.
workout in the morning, and then it becomes, yeah, this kind of drill, you know, it's like almost like in the army, right? I have to wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning, have to do this and that and that and that. But yeah, so some people it doesn't feel right. And the one day is not the other day. And I think it's just about what's right for you, and also have a certain kind of discipline, but not to be too rigid about it.
Also, that is very personal. Some people they feel really good with routines, with being strict for themselves. Others don't. But like
Yeah.
you said, that's a big part of the journey of self remembrance or transformation. What I call it is actually, like I said, the connection between your body, your mind, and your body, or especially your mind and your heart. Because in your heart, everybody knows and actually feels what is right for them, what feels good, what feels supportive, what 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 is necessary. And otherwise, if we don't feel it, we think it. So we think, okay, because that person told me to do that, I will do that and I will feel better.
Mm.
Or like I have a lot of questions, people asking me like, okay, what kind of breath work do I have to do in that situation? Or when do I use my ice tub? Or how often do I use my ice tub to feel better, or to have more energy, or to
Mm.
support my immune system? So a lot of people are getting stuck in the rational way of looking at things,
Mm.
and I myself, I forgot how to experience and how to really literally feel
Yeah.
what it does to me.
Yeah. The thing is that we'll never learn that, right? We're coming out of,
We Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
You know, we were born with it, and then, like I said,
It,
we gave it away.
they gave it away, exactly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So then everything that we actually learned is in somehow against our own nature. And then the society, they put things on you
Mhm.
to do this, and you have to do this to become successful, and
Mhm.
it's better to do this, and be careful with that, and then people scare you out like don't do this, it's too much risky, and then a lot of things that go against your nature. And I feel then the longer you're into that program, that's how I call it, because it's a program that's in your mind, right? The
Mhm.
longer that you're into that, the more difficult it is actually to transform and to change that and to find yourself, right? Because
Mhm.
it's all about that. It's finding your true self, your true nature, that you have neglected or that you have never explored because of the circumstances outside of you, in a way.
Yeah. It's not in a way, but to make the nuance, it's not about society or your parents or everybody putting something on you. It's us or me changing something inside of me, or trying to get something that I need. And it's very often it's only the approval. It's only
Yeah,
approval that we need. Approval for who we are, how we look, what we do not.
yeah,
And we learn ways to get that approval, because very often it's not unconditional. Actually, the only thing we need is unconditional love and
yeah,
unconditional approval.
yeah,
Um, and when we experience something that is conditional, we learn how we can um, make sure we fit into the box of the condition.
mm-hmm.
And when I do this, I receive love. When
Mm.
I do that, I receive attention. When I get good results at school, my parents are proud of me. When I get bad results, they're not proud of me. And so everybody has their own ways of learning patterns,
Yeah,
and ways to get what they need. But like you
mm.
said, the longer you keep on repeating those patterns, the more rigid they become, and the less flexible you become to dare and change those patterns, because they have been so successful for you in the
Yeah,
past.
yeah. The big thing in this, and I want to hear your experience, because I know that you work for people individually, for groups of people, but also people in corporate.
Mhm.
And I'm actually very curious how you get into corporate to explain them actually what you do, and how important it is for this kind of people that are totally not into that mindset.
Mhm. I don't get into corporate. Corporate gets me in, and that's for me an important exercise. It's not an exercise; it's a way of living or state of being. It's me preparing myself to be ready for the moment when it comes. And there's a lot of mouth to mouth sharing the word of the things that we do. And when we started with just inviting people to the cold experience that we give, or the breathwork sessions, or the personal transformation trails that we give. And of course, there are always people have jobs, so they tell about to their colleagues about what they did, or their bosses. And
Yeah.
we use social media, LinkedIn and Instagram, to share what we do. And the most beautiful thing is that people pick it up.
Yeah.
People, they get interested, and they're like, okay, we're organizing a one-day event with our firm. Could you maybe give a keynote, or could you maybe give a workshop or breath work, or could you introduce us to ice bathing or whatever? So a big part of it is also the marketing. I have the luxury to, you can see in the back our banner, this is me and this is my wife, so we're doing the business together. And she, with her
Mm-hmm.
background as a marketeer, she builds the website, she knows how social media works. So we keep on investing in spreading the
Yeah.
word, like with the podcast, the same thing, spreading um, ourselves, who we are, what we do, the insights we have to share. And more people pick it up, and when it resonates, they contact us.
Yeah.
So that's actually how they let me in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful actually. I also have a marketing background, so and I use that for many industries and many type of clients. And yeah, I'm also in that stage for some time, like to really use that knowledge actually in a way to inspire people to yeah, to transform and to see that there's another way of living actually. So yeah, that's
Mhm.
really beautiful. Um, you talked in the beginning that you're not the guy that is too much into goals and setting goals and plans and everything, but I'm sure that you have a kind of a mission that you
Mhm.
want to do with all the work that you're doing today. Can you
Yeah.
explain a little bit more about that? What's your mission? What you really want to accomplish with everything you
Mhm.
do?
There's not something specifically to accomplish, but my mission is that I the things that I remember, or remember more better and better of being me, or the mission and the reason I'm here on this planet in this time, is for me to share knowledge. And it's not my knowledge, but it's the knowledge that I'm collecting from science, from shamanism, from connecting with the universe. So it's universal knowledge. And I am blessed with a voice, and with the capacity to transform words into stories. And so
Mm-hmm.
for me, actually, like recording this podcast, recording my own podcast, giving keynotes, guiding workshops, and facilitating transformations in workshops or events, for me is my goal, because it's the way that I can serve myself and
Yeah.
also other people. I serve myself because I really enjoy it. And for me, like even now, telling or having this conversation, for me is completely in flow. I don't have to think about the words that I want to use. I don't have to think about it. It's just very natural. And
Mm-hmm.
when
Mm-hmm.
I give keynotes or I give workshops, it's, for me it's the same. So at that moment, there's nothing that I have to do,
Mm-hmm.
but there's in so many ways that I can serve myself and people around me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the mission is to serve as many people as there are people that want to be served. That's a very important thing for me. Same thing, it's not about results. If you would ask me how many people, I would say maybe 10,000, 100,000, 1 million. But when, or how, or
Yeah.
why? And so for me, it's not about, like I said, results and numbers and goals in time.
Mm-hmm.
It's for me, it's the only thing that is important is enjoying myself every
Yeah.
day of every year, of every
Mm.
month, of every week, of and how we can fill that in.
Yeah.
That is my mission and my goal every day.
And at the same time, impacting as much people as possible without putting numbers on it.
Yeah, but the impact is the result of the possible inspiration. It's my goal and my thing to inspire people.
Mm-hmm.
Impact is not a result of what I do. Impact
Mm-hmm.
is what the result of what people do with the inspiration they receive, or with
Mm.
the knowledge they receive, or with the exercises they can start with, and after they had an experience. So impact is something that other people do for themselves. It's not something that I can create.
Mm. Yeah.
I only can create a setting, can hold a safe space for people to create their own transformation, to facilitate themselves. I can only serve.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Do you think strategically about that, actually, how to reach as much people as possible, or not really?
Sometimes with my wife being a marketeer, she
She
has the
does it.
knowledge. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, but we do it together. But there are moments like, okay, we can choose a direction and accelerate in that direction. Okay, what is the direction we want to go in? Is there a new workshop? Is there a transformational journey? Like in September, we're traveling to Iceland with some people. Whatever is the goal now with the podcast, we have a new goal, so we're actually focusing a little bit more on spreading the word via the podcast.
Yeah.
So we take our time to get clear what our intention is, and then we can accelerate on that intention. And
Mm.
when something is done again, we can again start to explore what the next direction or intention will be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Let's dive a little bit back, of course, a little bit back into the different modalities actually
Mhm.
that you teach and that you do. So it's a lot, right? It's like you talked about the ice baths, the breath work, meditation. I'm not sure. I'm not sure you're familiar with that, but I'm not sure if you teach it. And then just the science around that. I feel like this all these modalities are something for the last few years actually that they become more well known, although a lot of these things are already well known for a long time in history, but not here in the West. I'm curious actually, how have you seen this evolution happening? And you're definitely part of that. And what do you see in the coming time? Because yeah, science is continuously changing, and new discoveries come up, and I can also that imagine that has an impact on the work that you do, that you sometimes change things because
Mhm.
they people found out, okay, this works better, or this is a kind of a shortcut to reach certain results. Can you explain a little bit the process and how you think about that?
For me, science became a part of the story. So, and it's not good or bad, but a lot of people treat science like a belief. And when it's scientifically proven it's right and it works, when it's scientifically proven that it's ineffective, it doesn't work. And when there's no science, a lot of people don't believe it can be possible or whatever it can be. For me personally, I've treated science in a very similar way in the past, but like I said, the more I remember myself and the more I allow myself to trust on what I feel, the less I need science. And for me, science, like I said, is a part of the story. I know a lot of the science behind meditation, behind breath work, behind ice bathing, behind personal development, because it's also a big part of science, personal development.
Yeah.
But like I said before, it's not about knowing what benefits are the result of some interventions. So like a specific type of breath work, okay, what can the result be? But for me, it's personal. Okay, what is the experience, or what do I need? Not paying attention to result, but to a
Mm.
feeling. Okay,
Mm.
I'm feeling low in energy. Maybe I feel some sadness or some anger, or I'm not motivated today, or I had a bad night, or okay, and what have I experienced that can help me at feeling like this and changing that if I
Mm.
want to change it, and if it's necessary for me to change and not just accept what is there. So like I said, it's been a part of my personal journey. Actually, it is my personal journey, and that's how it keeps on changing. And that's, like I said, 2 3 years ago, I was so much into science that everything that was science was so important for me, and everything that was not science, I could not even have conversations about it because I had so much resistance against
Yeah.
it. And that was also one of the main reasons that I felt I wanted to explore shamanism, because there's no science behind it.
Yeah.
There's no cognitive explanations about experiences and what plant medicine does, or what meditations or ceremonial activities can create.
Mm.
It's just accepting that your experience is yours and it's unique, and
Mm.
that's it.
Yeah.
So like I said, for me, it's a part of the story, the science, and I um, make sure that I keep up with science in a way. So I still read scientific articles, and when there's new science, I take a look in it and I dive into it. But
Yeah.
it's not like in the past for me so important to get all the numbers into my head and make sure that I remember them when I can talk to people, that I can cite the last science and the right numbers. So it's not of that importance anymore. And like I said, with the work that I do and the things that I share with people, it's not scientifically driven anymore. Not at all, actually.
Yeah. But don't you receive the question from the people that you want to work with or the people that you want to inspire? I
Hmm.
can imagine also for me, it's I would give like the same kind of answer if they would ask me, of course, because I know all the modalities and I've experienced them myself. But for people that have never done it before, because yeah, we know how it works in corporate culture and in the country in the north, Belgium, and all other countries where people are always very busy working and
Hmm.
performing. So what you're asking people actually is dedicating some time actually out of the work time mostly to take care of yourself, to transform, to do certain modalities that they have seen but don't know so much about it.
Hmm.
So how do you actually convince these people that it's something good for them? And then if you do that, then I think they go very quickly to the science.
The first thing is that I don't convince anybody
I knew
because
you were going to say that, but yeah,
yeah, that is no, but that's resistance.
yeah,
I'm not interested in convincing anybody,
yeah.
because same thing like I said, what comes to me when I'm not paying attention to convincing anybody, people that don't need to be convinced. But the
You
only thing
inspire
that I
people. Then is it better
yeah,
said?
and
Yeah,
yeah, and for me, I always tell people, like, the only thing that you need is curiosity,
yeah.
like really, like childish curiosity.
Open
And
mindset.
in that way you can go into every experience, everything that is new, open-minded. And if you're not curious, you're thinking about, okay, what you're feeling, the fears or the limiting beliefs that are there, or the judgments. And those, especially those are the people that when they want to be convinced, I just take a step back.
Hmm.
And those are not my people, or not at that time is not the time for those people to be inspired by who I am and what I do or what I share.
Yeah.
But very often it's co-creation. Like last week, we gave a workshop with somebody who is specialized in nonviolent communication. And so we made a blend between nonviolent communication, so communication with other people, and then I take the breathwork mindset part of the communication with your internal world,
Mm-hmm.
because it's your nervous system that is communicating all the time, communicating something outwards, and you can use the breath to communicate something else inwards. Same with meditation, same with ice bathing, same with every personal growth tool. There's always the possibility to learn something from it. But
Yeah.
same thing, it depends on the mindset we go into it. And like I said, the only thing that people need is the childish curiosity, and then
Mm.
everything can happen.
Mm.
But a lot of
Amazing.
people, they are afraid, and afraid is, it's not bad, but it's like we said, we learned it from the past, that being afraid from change helps us to maintain what we have. We don't
Yeah.
have to lose anything. That's the idea that we live with. So if we want to be proven or convinced that something works, then we are less afraid. But
Yeah.
still, actually, we're afraid of the experience, because we keep it all mental. The game stays mental,
Yeah.
and we're not open to experience, to feel what is there, or feel whatever comes up, or feel what we don't know about.
Yeah. Yeah. And in a lot of cases, I think it's like when many things you tried don't work, then maybe I should try this. I've
Hmm.
seen it before. I never tried it. I never want to spend time on it. But I just in that stage and time in my life that yeah, something needs to change and nothing worked. Do
Hmm.
you do you meet a lot of these kind of people?
The question I always ask them back is, what did you expect?
Yeah.
Because they say, yeah, okay, I tried this and it didn't work, or I tried this and it didn't help me, and I tried this and it didn't change anything. And like I said, like, what did you expect? And again, a lot of people then tell me, yeah, but I read on the internet or somebody told me that if I would do this exercise or use the ice bathing, this would change or add more energy, or my joint pain would go away, or my low back would be better. Or we're always in this modern day, especially in the West, we have always the goal there. Okay, I have low back pain, so I have to fix my low back pain. I have stomach acid problems. Okay, how can I fix my stomach? I have emotional burdens. How can I get rid of my burdens? So it's always with a goal. And like I said, we have an expectation. Okay, if I do this, 1 + 1 is 2.
Yeah.
But we are not science. We're not math. We're humans. We're complex humans on one side, but on the other side, we are very, like I said, the only thing that can work is you listening to you
Yeah,
and
exactly.
connecting again with yourself, with your higher self, with your authentic self, whatever you want to call it. But I always say, like, if there's a problem, you were there when it started, when it came up for the first time. So it
Yeah.
means that the only one who knows how you can help yourself is you,
Yeah.
and you know how to. But you
Yeah.
have to be honest with yourself, and you have to dare to accept what you have to do, or what you have to change, or what you have to let go to feel better.
Yeah. And people like you are guides to, yeah, to give people tools actually to heal
Mhm.
themselves.
Yeah. Especially, and like I said, it's not about the tools, it's about the experiences.
Yeah.
And the most beautiful thing that I learned is that our body heals itself.
Yeah.
And it's when we stop interfering with our minds that we allow our body to heal itself and
Yeah.
to let go of the problems that are there, or maybe the tension that was still stuck, or the emotion, or the beliefs that are stuck in our body. When the moment that we accept it and we allow it to just be, then our body can take care of it and can take care of everything. It can heal everything. It's amazing.
Is it realistic to, and I don't know if that's happening actually, but to re-educate our doctors and all the people in the health sector so that they, yeah, understand actually this way of healing people?
Mhm. I truly believe there's no other way, because there's so much sickness and problem in Western worlds
Yeah.
and Western medicine. Like, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, I read it in an email somebody wrote, and he cited, like, okay, we have never known scientifically as much about food as we know today, and still there's so many people not knowing what they have to eat to be healthy.
Yeah.
And there's still so many people that not have access to healthy foods. They only have access because of limited problems with money, or are not having enough, or regions in the world where there's not healthy food is not around. But even in that case, the question is food, or healthy or unhealthy, or everything in between, is it the cause of the problems?
Mm-hmm.
Of the problems that you are experiencing? Is it the cause? Is the quality of the water, the quality of the air? If are those things the cause of what you are experiencing, or is there
Yeah.
another reason? Because to my personal experience, I'm not saying that bad air is good for us and bad food is good for us and not moving enough is good for us. I'm not saying that at all, but for everybody that is very different. But I truly believe that there's only one way for the future to be possible for us as humans, and it's not about being possible, it's the only way. And like in science, the KPNI also is the science is, I think, now 25 or 30 years old. And a lot of, I was a physio back then, a lot of doctors and psychotherapists, they educate in PNI also.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that a huge shift is happening, but that's what they always say, that before the result is visible, we need the 1% of a society to change, and then the rest will follow. It's the Maharaji effect, or what is the name of it? It's something that is proven scientifically also. So it's crazy, but we need that 1% first. But
Yeah.
and that is the change that is happening now. And the moment that we reach that 1%, it will go that fast that we have no idea how fast
Mm-hmm.
it will go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you think that the government should play a role into this, and is that realistic?
They play their role.
How to do that?
What do you know, Hank? What the main goal of government is?
the main goal of government.
Yeah, of a government for a country, taking care of a country, what the main goal is, or
Taking
what do you think it is?
yeah, yeah, taking care of the people, I guess. That's the main goal of the government.
Yeah. No, even
Yeah,
even more, maintaining tranquility, maintaining rest, not being at war or not being
yeah,
troubled. So the first thing they want is not having troubles with the people, and then taking care of is. I personally, I think it's the ideal way of thinking, but they don't care about us. They are also very busy with doing business and making money and putting all things together. So,
yeah,
but governments are driven out of fear, and not only governments, but a lot of people are driven out of fear, and it's something that the COVID period showed us really well, that almost all countries in the world were very afraid to to think for themselves, to take a different decision, to make different decisions compared to the rest of the world, and maybe taking a risk, in between brackets, taking a risk to do something different.
yeah,
And same thing now, we know, if we look back, almost all countries have made wrong decisions, almost all of them, because of the results was that they were guided by their fears, so they just followed everybody else and what the whole world did, and almost the whole world made wrong choices.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was clear proof, definitely, during that time.
Mhm.
Yeah, nobody
It
would
was
have
just an
expected that.
enlargement of what was there already. Yeah, it was just showing the problems that were there already,
Yeah,
and it changed a lot. And a lot of people tell me like, okay, yeah, it's nothing changed because it's actually like nothing happened, but a lot changed, and still is changing. Like we said before, a lot is changing in the people, in their mindset, in their bodies, and it's accelerating a lot. The process
yeah,
of the COVID period accelerates personal growth a lot.
that's true.
So the future, we will know when we will look back and say, okay, now change is very visible, but it won't take that long.
Yeah, I think it's also a matter of the people that are aware of all of this into politics, I would say, in these positions of power where they can really make changes. What we already see today, actually, yeah, if there are certain people that try to do that, yeah, they do everything to stop that.
Yeah. Again, out of fear.
Out of
And
fear, yeah,
I know because a lot of people, almost all people, are afraid of change.
yeah,
They nobody knows what happens when life changes. So
yeah,
a lot of people want to protect what is there, what they have, and they're so afraid to lose what they have that they try to stop all change.
yeah,
But change is inevitable.
yeah. We should them all bring together actually and guide them into a very intense psychedelic trip so that they really understand how the world should work and how we can come closer to our own nature.
Mhm. Time will heal everything, as it has always done, and as it always will be. And that's, like I said, that's also a very big part of me that changed over the past years. Is I, I I'm not focusing on the bad things anymore, or the things that could be better, or politics, or a lot of those things. It's just I accept what is,
Yeah,
and out of that acceptance, only change can grow.
yeah,
But the more we fight against it, and the more we fight against those people making the decisions now, the more actually we feed their
yeah.
energy, and the
That's
stronger
true.
they become, or it can still be.
That's true. Yeah. No, yeah, I totally recognize that. We sometimes have this tendency actually to control everything outside of us and to change the world. But yeah, everything starts by changing yourself
Mhm.
and then becoming more conscious about yeah, just the things you can control, work on that. But the things you can't control, just let it go, and just inspire other people by just being yourself. I think
Yeah.
that's what I've learned actually over the years.
Mhm. Your external world is the projection of your internal world. and
Absolutely.
and that's and that's for me still something that, and it's not about grasping the concept, or completely grasping the concept or understanding it, but it's your state of being that's the only thing that you can work on. And that's personal growth. The state of being is actually how you feel, the things that you think about yourself or that you're convinced about, the things you believe to be true or believe to be false, the things that you believe you can do or reach or cannot do. And that's your state of being. And introspection is a possible way to learn how you're holding yourself back. And the less you hold yourself back out of experiences from the past, emotions, illness beliefs, or beliefs by themselves, the the freer your world becomes, because your inner world becomes more free and more authentic.
Yeah.
And so your outer world actually is completely the same.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I want to just, I don't want to dive too deep into that, but
Hmm.
I want to talk a little bit more about the shamanism that you mentioned. I'm not
Hmm.
sure if everybody is that familiar with shamanism, and that leads me then to psychedelics and plant medicine and things like that. Can you explain a little bit what it actually is? Is it, do you think it's everybody should do that? And also the result of that, like how, what you experience in these kind of journeys, how impactful can that be for someone's
Hmm.
life?
For me personally, at this time, shamanism is just outside of science. It's these are practices that have been passed on from generations on in native people. They learned a lot from the stars, from nature, from the universe, from seasons, from animals, from themselves. And they passed it on from generation to generation. And shamanism is so much more than only plant medicine or psychedelics. It's actually it's a way of living. The shaman in a tribe is that person who holds the potential to heal others.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it's not about that person healing you, it's that person facilitating the context and the situation for you to heal yourself, for your own body to heal itself. So, to my personal experience and opinion, shamanism is also shamans, so people with a lot of experience and with a lot of knowledge, creating experiences for people like me and you and others that have the potential to transform your life.
Yeah.
And I point out potential because it's not the experience on itself that changes you. Like I said in the beginning of the podcast, it's the way you handle what you have experienced, the way you look at it, the
Mm-hmm.
way you allow yourself to feel again. Because
Mm-hmm.
shamans, they feel a lot. They're so grounded, they're so embodied in their body, and they're so
Yeah.
connected with their emotions and with everything that is there. So they are so wise because they allow themselves to have a broader experience of the world than a
Yeah.
lot of us allow ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And plant medicine and psychedelics, and like I said before, ceremonial experiences, because ceremony actually, life is a ceremony. It's what shamans say. It's actually a way of living,
Yeah.
and it incorporates a lot of the things that I've been saying already. And like I said, it has the potential to transform. But not
Mm-hmm.
only shamanism has that potential, but it has. And also, like a plant medicine like ayahuasca or mushrooms, they have the knowledge from generations on how it works, how do you have to prepare that medicine or the psychedelics, how do you have to use them, in which doses do we have to use them, what can happen, and what is the explanation, or what are the insights you can have from those things. Those are also passed on from generation to generation. So it's, for me personally, shamans are very experienced people with a lot of knowledge that is
Mm-hmm.
not from books, but is passed on from generations.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Much experience you mentioned. So, how much experience does a shaman need to have? Because I'm actually thinking about, okay, the shamans, they could be the new doctors of the West, actually, right? So maybe there should be like a shaman education or something like that.
I know here in Belgium there is a
Oh, it
place where
exists.
they train
Okay.
shamans. Yeah.
Okay.
There's so much more places that exist. A lot of people of us have no idea, and shamans actually, they are the doctors, not of the West, but of the East and especially the South,
Hmm.
in Africa and South America and also North America. But you were going to ask a question, I think.
Yeah, no, I was thinking like, yeah, so there should be an education for that. And the question was, and actually, okay, yeah, if you do an education of maybe 5, 7, 10 years, that would be not enough. So you talk about a shaman needs to have a lot of experience coming through generations.
Yeah.
What that kind of experience are we talking about actually, and how much time would that experience be?
For me, it's personally, it's not time bounded, because if you go to the east, like with the demonics, when do you have a master in meditation, or a master in, like, a completely other example, a sushi master, for example? I know they need to be trained for, I think it's around 30 years before
Really?
achieving a grade like master or the other grades. It's a gift from the people. It's not about their professors, but it's about their mentors. Their mentors, they experience, okay, this person is ready now.
Hmm.
So it's not something that you can do an exam for. It's not about an exam. It's not about collecting knowledge and proving yourself. It's about building experience by seeing, feeling, joining, guiding, learning a lot also out of their
Hmm.
own experience. And then they're just shamans. they
Yeah.
they become trained. I know from an ayahuasca shaman, that someone that we met 2 years ago in Peru. A part of his training as a shaman was to be alone for a whole year in the jungle in Peru, in the Amazon jungle. So there was just a moment that his mentor came to tell him, now is the time for you to leave the village and go
Yeah.
into the Amazon yourself for a whole year, and
Wow.
learn about the plants and make contact with the plants and study the plants and study yourself. And
Yeah.
you'll know when it's time for you to come back to the village.
Yeah. Amazing.
So it's so much more trust based. Like I said, it's about what you can feel in your body, so much more than we can think or understand with our minds.
Yeah. Now I understand why we have to save the Amazons, because we cannot put people here in the forest around us to do
We
that.
can, we can. I last year, no, 2 years ago, in the same year as Peru, we went on a vision quest in France,
Mm.
in the center of France, and we had that's a period of 4 days and 4 nights that you spend alone in nature in a spot
Yeah, I heard about
that you
that.
receive from a shaman also. But even in Europe, even here in Belgium or in Spain or whatever, we have so many beautiful forests. But it's not as same thing. The Amazon is it's so old. The
Yeah,
trees are that old. The animals are that old. And then
yeah,
there's same thing. There's so much wisdom in the Amazon, and that is maybe one of the main reasons, all part of the ecological reasons for the world or the planet. But those are the reasons why they have to be protected and taken care of, because of
totally.
the rich knowledge that is there, the wisdom.
Yeah, 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 totally. Yeah. No, yeah. Now I understand that much better. I haven't really thought about that before. So yeah, tell me a little bit about what you actually do for the people. You mentioned different modalities. You have workshops. I know because we talked about that. You sometimes inspire people in the corporate by
Mhm.
um, by doing keynotes. Can you explain a little bit more what you do, and so that people get a little bit of an idea around that, and
Mhm.
so they can feel inspired and maybe get in touch with you, or maybe someone else that is doing similar things than you?
Yeah. Actually, a part of it is like what we have been doing now in the podcast, telling about our experience, sharing, like you just said. Okay, I've never looked at it that way or thought about it that way, and that's for me. That's broadening somebody's perspective. And
Mm.
like I said, just telling stories like this can inspire people, and it can be inspiring, even more inspiring to have an experience. And for me, there's no difference between a keynote or a workshop or a half day or a full day or a retreat, but the experience. It's just in time, the experience is longer and bigger and very often more impactful for a lot of people. But it can also be very impactful to just listen to a podcast and to just be inspired by a podcast. Just like I said, I teach around different topics: breathwork, self-exploration, introspection, personal development. And we very often explore tools like the ones we've been talking about. For me, a very important thing is connecting with your own system again, with your own psychology, with your own physiology, with your own immune system, with your own neurology, and experiencing what your body is telling you.
Yeah.
Because that's the same thing like the Amazon. It's filled with wisdom. Our body is pure wisdom, but we don't speak the language anymore.
No.
So connecting mind and body is actually always the intention of everything that I do with workshops, with one-on-one sessions, with keynotes that I give, corporate, non-corporate, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, people that are listening to this podcast and they are getting more and more interested in exploring this area, what would be the first steps you think that they could do actually to take action?
Not too much action. ask yourself the first question, like, okay, what do I need? Or maybe even better, how do I feel? How am I doing? And learning to ask yourself questions and take the time and the confidence to wait for the answer. Because every question you put out into the universe will be answered, but it's not always directly. And so patience is a very important part of personal growth, and not only patience, but also the confidence. Like I said, not trusting yourself, trusting your amazing body, trusting our amazing system, and actually the God we are, or the God you are yourself, because it is, you are the creator of your own universe, and we have to see ourselves as who we are, as unlimited in potential and possibilities. But we need to trust ourselves first and restore the connection. And like I said, asking yourself questions is a good one to start.
How does someone do that? Because to ask yourself the questions, you need to a little bit take distance of your daily life.
Mm-hmm.
Meditation, or is it just sitting down, journaling? What would you recommend?
I don't have recommendations because you have to experience yourself. You know how to ask me questions, Hank, right?
I think I do, yeah.
Yeah, you do. You have asked me a lot of questions, and it's good. Everybody knows how to ask questions. And so, same thing, the intention has to be not to get the result or the answer directly. Just trust, okay, like how can I trust myself more? For an example, if you have trust issues with yourself or confidence problems, or, and to my personal opinion, a lot of people have that, and me included. I'm still working on it day by day, improving my connection with my body so that I can really build on it. And so if that's a question, just put it out into the universe. Like I said, like, how can I restore the connection between my mind and my body? And then let it go, because you asked the question. And that's part of people living today. We're not taking time. We're all over instant gratification. That's the only thing we want, or that we learned and that we need. So we really have to learn, like you said, to step back out of the hustle of daily life. And we don't have to do it every day or maybe all day long, but it can be 1 minute or 10 minutes or 5 minutes. And it can be using your breath, it can be using meditation, it could be in a nice tub, it can just be during a walk, whatever, or just staring into the garden or to the clouds, or whatever works for you. And that is based on your own experiences.
Yeah. Well, it's something that most people already have in a certain kind of way, but for most people it also stays there. It's like, okay, sometimes I go and having a walk, I go into nature, sometimes I go to the gym, I do my workout. So people have these kind of moments where they can take a step back from the busyness in their life,
Mhm.
but then they calm their mind in a certain way, but it's also has this limits, right? You cannot
Mhm.
go that deep.
Why not?
I don't know. It's I if I compare it with meditation, for example, I feel like meditation you can go so much deeper, and not by the first meditation, but if you're used to
Mhm.
meditate,
Mhm.
you're going into places that for me personally, you can do when you walk into nature. You look at the birds and you start memorizing and like questioning certain things and everything. It's just not the same for me.
But it's how you're saying it now or explaining it, because we have expectations, and you said like, okay, we get away from the busy life, but we cannot get away because the thing that we always take with us is our mind. And if it works like that, that's why I cannot suggest anything that works, because you have your own experience, and for you
Mm.
meditation works very well to ease your mind and to open up to whatever the universe is bringing or showing or whatever. But other people can have that same experience in nature,
Yeah.
um, or when fasting, doing fasting, maybe very often a dry fasting for a longer time, can also open you up, because it takes a lot of the things that pull away our attention
Yeah.
away. It opens up the path, and it clears up the path. And it's how we handle it ourselves and what we experience that works for us.
Yeah. Mm.
I had beautiful experiences in nature already. I had beautiful experiences in meditation, with breath work, in my ice bath, and I very often hear different stories from other people, and that's the most beautiful thing. I believe to be very true, that your experience is your own experience. It's
Yeah.
only your own experience, and that for everybody is completely different.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, that's totally true. Yeah, it's just a matter of exploring it, and
Hmm.
be
Yeah.
open-minded, try different things, and
Yeah.
see what works for you. Yeah,
Yes.
definitely,
Curiosity.
totally. Yeah, before we end this podcast, just and that's something I always ask: is there something that you would like to share to the audience? Maybe a topic that we haven't talked about.
Mhm.
I know you don't like to give advice or anything, but just something that you want to share.
For me personally, introspection, actually, the thing we've been talking about the whole podcast, is connecting with yourself, remembering yourself, is the most the most natural way of living. And when you dare to let go of all the things that you believe and all the patterns you learned to survive, you will notice how nature and the universe can blow your mind. Because, and I mean with mind blowing, is that you'll receive experiences, and you'll experience experiences that are way past what you can think of, or what you can put goals on in the future, or what you can expect.
Mm.
By thinking, we limit ourselves so much, and when you let go of that thinking and those expectations, you'll be blown away, and you'll notice that the quality of your life can improve radically because of doing less.
Yeah, yeah. What comes up in me if you share that is like surrendering
Yes, to yourself.
to yourself.
Mhm.
Beautiful. Yeah, with that, we can close this podcast episode. Yeah, I'm really inspired and impressed about all the knowledge that you have, also on your age, definitely. So I see, and I hope actually that you will, yeah, explore and evolve much more and inspire much more people in the future. I think that's really important, and I feel that the world needs this more and more. So definitely a big thank you, and yeah, we definitely stay in touch, and maybe in a later stage we can do this episode again, and we talk about new evolutions, new things that are happening in the world, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Yes. Thank you for creating the opportunity with podcasts like this for people, for me and the other guests you have, to share the knowledge that we have, to share the wisdom that we have access to, because it's not my wisdom, it's the wisdom that came to me and that I can share with people. So thank you for creating this opportunity. And I had a really nice time. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.